Good to see you.
Hi Neil.
Hello.
Hi. Well, I've been running my own IT business for the last 11, 12 years. And right at the start, we registered for VAT because we were expecting to immediately to be earning over the threshold. That hasn't happened on a regular basis, so I'm not required to be registered for VAT. And because of the financial situation at the moment, we're definitely not earning anywhere near that. And I'm basically becoming a bit fed up of just acting like a tax collector because I'm selling my services, so I'm not buying and selling goods. Basically, I have to add 17.5% onto any invoice that I give out, and that will be going up to 20%. So if I balance that up against the people in my position who are not charging VAT, then I'm obviously the quotes that I'm putting in, either I'm not making that margin or they're putting in a much lower price than me. The upshot is I'm not sure whether I should continue to be registered for VAT, and it's been spurred on by this increase.
Just as a quick question, are your customers mainly business customers that claim that back, or are you working for private individuals with their, for example, their IT computer problems?
I don't work for private individuals as such. Most of the clients do claim back. There are some who don't. I work for quite a range of organisations, and they obviously the ones I want are the bigger contracts where it doesn't matter so much. But for small businesses and even I've done stuff for like the NHS and things, and it's when you're trying to get work. I just think it would be much easier for me if I didn't.
One thing just to be aware of, actually, you mentioned there the NHS. Many bigger institutions, both in commercial world and in public sector, actually do like a VAT number because it gives a certain prestige that you're bigger than you actually are.
That was one of the things that I was going to ask. Yeah.
If you haven't got a VAT number, then it's straight away telling your customer that you're a very small scale operation, right, which is fine in certain circumstances. I do actually know that certain public sector bodies actually do insist on a VAT number. They actually like a VAT number because, again, it means that there's VAT being claimed back on expenses being incurred by the subcontractor. So there's a prestige factor that might be useful to you. The other point to be aware of is that if you did deregister from VAT, which you're entitled to do, you can deregister if your expected sales in the next 12 months are £68,000 or less. There's a £2,000 difference between the registration threshold and deregistration threshold. So you can, if you want, deregister. But you would lose then the opportunity to claim back VAT on your telephone expenses, motor expenses that you might incur, your own IT expenses, stationery costs and computer costs. So there'd be a loss of recovery on some of your overheads, which might be quite useful in certain cases, particularly if you buy capital items like a new computer or those sorts of things. But something that might be useful to you is there's something in the world of VAT called the flat rate scheme. Now, I won't go into that in detail, but basically what that means is that you collect the VAT from your customers. In your case, it will be 17.5% VAT and then 20% after the 4th of Jan. But you only pay over a proportion of that VAT to the tax authorities on your VAT return by applying a flat rate percentage to your gross receipts. Now, that could produce a VAT saving for you if the figures are kind, and from what you're saying it probably will, because you've not got a lot to claim back on. So have a look on the HMRC website, www.hmrc.gov.uk, and key in flat rate scheme on the search engine, and there might be some useful pointers there for you to take advantage of. But yeah, as a principle, if you are totally fed up with being VAT registered and it's a nuisance completing VAT returns and you don't feel there's any benefit, then you're entitled to become deregistered as a matter of course.